Hello, and I know you already know how to read, but today we're going to talk about how to read at the college level. Get in, get out with the overall point and the key points. So let's get started.
So by now you've already read chapter 2 and you came up with all of these different techniques. I'm curious to see which ones you like and which ones you think work really well for you. I, on the other hand, think that the SQ3 may be a little too advanced right now. Um, I cannot map for to save my soul unless I do one of the other ones first, so I won't be teaching you that, although you certainly can use that if you're comfortable. I will go over the old school way of doing things, which is the outline, and then go to a shorter version, which is underlining or highlighting. The double entry, while it is super thorough, I think you probably will not have time mostly to do that, but you'll see how underlining and annotating can probably do the trick of all of these. So let's proceed. Mhm. So what does outlining look like? Well, it comes from actual writing. As you know, there is a standard way to write an essay, or any body of work actually will have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And those translate into our traditional 1, 2, and 3 in an outline form, intro, body, conclusion. What you may not know, or what I figured out, is that the letters A, B, C stand for the paragraphs. And then the 1, 2, 3 are the sentences that are included in that paragraph. And so you can see it would basically be rewriting the entire essay in shorthand. Still worthwhile. So I'm taking, for example, the article Why We Lift, and this is in your book, and you should probably, if you have a hard copy of your book, great. If not, don't worry about it. But you might want a piece of paper. So if I read Why We Lift and I try to outline it, what does it look like? Well, I had heard rumors about it before I ever left for college, and once I moved into the dorm, I realized it was not just a rumor. So far, she hasn't really told us the topic, but I record it faithfully as Rumors Before College Now Knows. So I shorten it, I make notes about it, and sometimes I even translate it into something that makes sense to me. So the second paragraph, or second sentence is, I needed a way to combat the freshman 15. And I recognize that expression because we had the Bursley 15 when I was in college, which was the name of my dorm. And more recently, COVID, right? With the lockdown, people have gained weight. They haven't been as mobile. That dreaded poundage resulting from a combination of late night pizzas, care packaged cookies, and cafeteria cheese. Yeah, she's talking about gaining weight. So I record that, wants to lose the freshman 15 since I relate to it. And then in parentheses, I explain to myself, wait. Next sentence. So my roommate and I headed to the university gym where the weight training rooms are filled with student chain gangs sweating and clanging their way through a series of mechanical monsters. So clanging sounds like weightlifting there, and it does tie in with the title. So I sum it up as roommate ampersand her went to U gym, lots of students lifting WTS. So I start to write shorthand. Next sentence is, as I looked around, it became obvious that people work out for quite different reasons. I'm faithful and I write down, realized people, WO, work out for diff reasons. And then I get the 4 reasons. which I assume is her thesis. Health, tone, athletes, and bodybuilders. So that's what it would look like if I outlined it. Now, this is going to become important when we start doing peer reviews, or even in the writing process for yourself. You may want to record what is actually written. So I want you to practice this on paragraph 2. And I give you a heads up. There are 6 sentences. So you can put me on pause now. Take your time. Try to sum up your 6 sentences.
Okay, so you've turned me back on, so you're ready to check to see how you did with your underlining. And here's what I had. I picked up some students lift WTS for maintain/improve health. So you want to make sure you have either some students, something about lifting weights, maintain, improve health. The second sentence, I had strong abs decreases low back problems. And actually, I probably would have used a down arrow, but instead, to save time in PowerPoint, I just did it this way. And then we have, let me turn myself off. We have the improved flex decreases tension/headaches, and weights plus aerobics equals lose weight is what I wrote there. Exercise plus diet equals lose weight. You might have picked up something about the muscle mass burning more calories, and that's fine. And then definitely wanted to get the 20 minutes 3 times a week. So don't really need all the rest of it. Good.
Next, I'm going to show you how underlining can do the same thing as this. So instead of the outline form, I would try to underline. But the key here is to pick up only key words and phrases. If you underline everything, then nothing stands out. And it'll be very difficult for you when you go back to reread it to pick out the key points. You'll have to basically reread the whole thing. So I'm going to be careful here, and I'm going to try to pick up just keywords. When I read that first sentence about rumors, I know it doesn't really tell me anything about what it is. The only thing that seems important in this sentence to me is that she's in college, and that does seem important. It's mentioned throughout the paragraph. So I underline college. Next, I needed a way to combat the freshman 15. Now here, needed, combat the, I would pick up freshman 15, but if you're not used to that phrase, she gives us another way, poundage. Okay, so do one or the other. And since I know the freshman 15, I will erase this one. Okay, so you would do one or the other. You don't need to do both. You're trying to save yourself time, both in underlining and in the reread. Don't need all the details of why she gained the weight, so I'm going to skip to my roommate. I circle my and I. There's 2 of us. And where did they go? The gym. And then filled with students is important. And because this line is just too metaphorical, I'm going to skip it. I'm going to go down to what's important is work out different reasons. And then because I have a list, I'm going to number this. 1 is health enthusiasts, 2, toning, 3, athletes, and 4, bodybuilders. And so now the way to check whether you've got everything is to read just the underlined parts. So what do I have? College, needed to combat the freshman 15, roommate and I, gym, filled with student, different reasons, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, I am missing one thing, weight training, very important, so that I know what the different reasons are for weight training. All right, so that's underlining, and you can use a highlighter. I think it's very advantageous, stands out even more if you use different colors for to signify different things. Now it's your turn, and you're going to try to do it to that second paragraph. So put me on pause, and if you have it in front of you, try to underline just the key words and phrases. And if you don't have it, just write down on a separate piece of paper what you think would be the keywords and phrases, kind of like an outline, but just the keywords and phrases. When you're done, you can take me off pause, and I'm going to show you what's too much and what's too little, so you can get a feel for how you felt, whether you fell into the just right area. Okay, you've turned me back on, so now we're going to do too much. If I underline, for instance, some students lift weights, maybe I start off behaving myself, exercise program, maintaining or improving health, heard how strong abdominals, now I get sloppy. Now I start learned and improving. See how much, what happens is now I will have to reread the whole paragraph, and I've wasted my time if I've underlined that much. So that is way too much. I have to isolate just the key words and phrases that stand out and give the meaning. So I'm going to erase this. Unfortunately, I have to erase all of it, and we're going to try to pick out what's just the most important. So here we go. Some students lift weights, maintaining or improving health. So that would correspond with her number 1 that she had just listed. They have heard how abdominals reduce, okay, strong abdominals reduce lower back problems. Now, let's say I start skimping out, worried that I'm going to underline too much, reduce tension, headaches, combining weights, lose weight, and I stop there. So why is this too little? Well, let's read it. Some students lift weights, maintaining or improving health. That makes sense. Strong abdominals reduce lower back problems. That makes sense. Reduce tension, prevent headaches. So it sounds like the strong abdominals also reduces tension, unless I pick up flexibility. And for me, I'd probably put that one in a box and this one in a box. So then I have what they do and the result. What they do and the result. This one is obvious. If I say combining weights, I have to have something to combine it with, and I didn't get aerobic exercises. And what's the result? Lose weight. So if I follow my previous pattern, I'd have to put this one in a square and this one in a square. And then person who exercise and eat well. You can't skip that part. Burn more calories. increase, so now I'm starting to underline too much. And then the last sentence, you should always get something in the last sentence because as you will learn about key points, that is where the point about this topic is. So the point about these that are trying to maintain or improve health is that they do it around 20 minutes, 3 times a week. And if you didn't know that from just this paragraph, when you read the next one, you'll see for each of them, she uses this guideline to tell us how they are different. So they have different reasons, and therefore they do different amounts of times and with different frequencies. Okay, so now you know that too little can be just as harmful. So you can stop me and check yours, but I'm going to move on when you turn me back on.
So your assignment this week will be to underline just one paragraph, the first paragraph in the article, How the Internet Has Changed Bullying. And if you have your hard copy book, that would be page 240 through 243. If you're in the ebook, I have included a link in the assignment, which is 14-3C. But you're going to want to print it off. So hopefully you have access to a printer or you're going to campus and you can go to one of the labs to print it. You're looking to underline just the keywords and phrases. You want to record any thoughts you might have in that one paragraph. Record them on the right-hand side of your margin. And then snap a picture and submit it to exercise 1 so I can take a look at how well you're doing. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing your work.